So good afternoon, everyone, and welcome. My name is Muriel Morbe. I am the CEO of the House of Training, and I'm also the director of HEC Liège Luxembourg. And I'm very, very pleased to welcome you here to this webinar dedicated to private markets and to evolving challenges around talent. So this session reflects the strong and trusted collaboration between HEC Liège Luxembourg and the Luxembourg Private Equity and Venture Capital Association, the LPEA. So I'd like to warmly thank Stefan Pesch for the quality of our partnership and his ongoing commitment to supporting talent development to the sector. So in private equity, attracting and retaining skilled professionals is a strategic priority, and our joint program was designed to meet this need, bridging academic insights and industry expertise to support real career growth. So today's roundtable will be moderated by Pratiksha Mishra, and thank you for joining us. And I now hand over to Pratiksha to launch the discussion. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Muriel, for your kind words on our partnership with LPEA. So how about we do a quick round of introduction with our speakers? Starting with Stefan.
Yes, good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to our webinar presenting this year's Peace Certificate. My name is Stefan Pesch, and I'm taking care of the LPEA, which is the Luxembourg Private Equity and Venture Capital Association in Luxembourg.
Jens.
Good afternoon. My name is Jens Sollermann. I'm one of the professors giving the main course, Private Equity or Private Markets and Other Alternative Asset Classes. And together with my co-professor, I have designed the course.
We have Sven.
Hi, everybody. I'm Sven Bouchareb. I'm Client Relationship Director at HEC Luxembourg. And I had the pleasure to attend the course, the Private Equity Certificate in 2024. And I'm there to give my feedback on how it went.
Nick.
Hi, everybody. My name is Nick. I'm a co-founder and managing director of ACM Private Markets. We're an independent third-party management company here in Luxembourg, and I'm one of the lecturers for the valuation module.
Thank you so much. And lastly, it's me, Pratiksha Mishra. I am the recruiting manager for HEC Liège Luxembourg and your moderator for this evening. So, Stefan, could you please present us what LPEA is, what the market size is, and of course, what is the scope of private markets in Luxembourg?
For sure, Pratiksha. So first of all, the LPEA has been launched in 2010, so as an ASBL, non-profit association, with three main, let's say, topics and strategies. First one was really to work a lot on public affairs, public advocacy, to be in close touch with the supervisory authority, the government, the different administrations, and certainly also all the other financial associations together to bring our industry forward, because Luxembourg is certainly very famous due to the investment funds success story. And it was really our goal to continue this UCITS kind of first episode now with also the alternatives. As an association, we take care also of the thought leadership. What do we do there? That's really the different technical committees and working groups and clubs, which we animate together with some professionals who are really hands-on and help with lots of insights, and participate also to roadshows abroad, because there we represent Europe and Luxembourg together with our members and also with different clients who are very happy with what they have built here and also what they would like also to see and create in the future. And the third big topic for us is really around education and training. That's why in the past we have really pushed our own digital training academy. But as soon as we had the opportunity to collaborate together with HEC Liège, Luxembourg, and certainly also House of Training, that was really our, let's say, very favorite and preferred path to also develop new programs, which also would allow you to gain then a certification, different credits, and if combined with different modules, then also really everything you need for the future. We have nowadays 630 members, so that's a lot. It has really grown and almost doubled over the last years with, let's say, many GPs, the general partners. Those are the investment fund managers. We have also investors, including family offices, fund of fund insurance firms, private bankers, and some others. And then the second biggest category, also part of the association on the corporate side, is composed of asset servicers. So the famous service providers who help then those different managers to, let's say, launch their fund structures in Luxembourg and include, for example, law firms, auditors, bankers, third-party AFMs, tax advisors, etc., etc. So everything which made out of Luxembourg this kind of very well-known hub and also successful one. And then the third category is composed of independent directors and entrepreneurs, because due to the venture capital angle, we also highly push those kind of segments forward. Also very proud of the success stories Luxembourg was able to build here. And if we look then at the strategies we cope with, it's really around private equity, so classical buyout. We also do venture capital, as I highlighted before, but also infrastructure, private debt and credits, secondaries, and fund of funds, as an example. We don't do direct real estate, nor hedge funds. I mean, there we have other associations in Luxembourg who are also specialists in this field. But for us, it was very clear that Luxembourg would really create here another kind of chapter of its financial history with those new strategies, which really emerged 20 years ago with different fund structures, but then really specialized and accelerated a lot since 2013 with the famous AFMD, meaning the Alternative Investment Fund Managers Directive, and then also the famous Luxembourg Toolbox, which will be mentioned probably also by some of our other speakers tonight. What is important is also to highlight the growth and the size of our sector, which has really evolved over the last years a lot and accelerated its movement up. So nowadays we have reached 1.5 trillion assets under management, so 1,500 billions. That's really enormous compared to what we were used to do. And that is really thanks to, let's say, that famous collaboration and partnership, which was really made possible, and also certainly to have different visibility, communication, and business development efforts together. What is also particularly important for you, dear talents and students, is to know that also over the last years, Luxembourg evolved very quickly from a classical back office, for which we were very known for, but also into a middle office. That is where then you have the AFM, or the fund managers, the management company here in Luxembourg, having some substance, new profiles, including risk managers, valuation professionals, compliance, COOs, CFOs, and also many other ones. That is very, very promising for the future, because that allowed us then also to look at which new opportunities we could further develop, and which were then clearly identified that we should also look at distribution of funds. So also pan-European, let's say, structures which are built in Luxembourg, where we can use a passport, but also then to do that worldwide with that kind of famous, let's say, recognition. And that we would call or summarize into more fundraising efforts for Luxembourg with specific professionals and profiles, which would be required here. And then all in all, in order then to be also complete, we should also build some front office capacities. That will not fit for everybody in the beginning, but I think there is a chance to play, let's say, a very progressive card, which will allow then here again some financial analysts, deal makers, and let's say professionals to also join the Luxembourg adventure on this front. So if you look at this global picture, what is important nowadays, it's really to be interested by what's happening on the legal side, but also let's not underestimate the tax angle, operations, and also then look at those new horizons I've just described.
Wow, that's an impressive space to be in. So this also got me thinking then, Stefan, how important is to attract and retain talent to be consistent in building future talent pipelines?
As you can imagine, very, very important, because since we alluded a little bit here and described some of the new potential elements or opportunities we could build together as an ecosystem, we also therefore need the right talents, the right skills, and also to adapt to these also modern worlds. I mean, those are new markets we need to kind of create. We need to embed those elements as early as possible. There are different career paths we can also develop. So, I mean, not just talking about AI, which is absolutely key also to be integrated in modern studies and also in modern operations of all those members of ours. But it's really key to also then remain quite open on which kind of new, let's say, segments or capacities we should further develop. I think this is something we will discuss more together over the next questions, but here, without now describing too many elements, for us, the talents are really the key accelerator of our growth. Without them, it will not be feasible. I mean, we can continue some recipes which work quite well over the last decade, but in our eyes, it's always very important to further evolve and integrate new trends.
So Spain, what are your thoughts around this? How important is to attain and retain talent to be consistent in building future talent pipelines?
Thanks. Yeah, definitely. Talent pipeline is a question for all organization. It's important to have the necessary human power and to renew constantly those human force. So basically, in our organization, we are constantly looking for new talents, not necessarily people having experience or people that are from the financial sector, I would say. We are looking in particular of having juniors that we could integrate as early as possible within our teams and to be trained and mentored per more experienced people. Because at the end of the day, we are all basically struggling in retaining our talents. So we are seeing it between service provider, but also on other player of the industry. You have people that are, let's say, navigating this ecosystem. And that's key that we have consistently new bloods that could enter into this this kind of system, if I may say it like that.
Jens, what are your thoughts around it?
I think Stefan already nicely explained what development we have done in Luxembourg. From a SPV hub to a fund hub, where all the big asset managers have now their funds. This also played a big role in the development of all the service providers. Yeah, a lot of service providers have grown significantly over the last years, and with all that growth, so the asset managers and the service providers, there is always a need for skilled people, and asset managers and service providers are constantly hiring, and those who have the competitive advantage of knowing about the big picture of the industry will always be in the front row. I think that is very important.
Fair enough. I think it also gives a lot of scope for transitioning in careers, and also it's also a big pool of immigrants coming in, expats who can also transition into this domain. So let's hear from Nick. What are your views around it?
Yeah, I hope we are one of the service providers that Jens was mentioning that is on the forefront. We started 4.5 years ago with a team of 4, so a founding team of 4, and we grew to more than 50. So that's more than 50 people. And it's not like we do everything manually. So obviously we've all got laptops, we're all connected to the internet, we know how to work with spreadsheets, and we know how to work with all the different SaaS tools that are there to facilitate private equity operations. But still, one of the key messages that we get from our clients, and that's the GPs that we serve, but also the LPs that obviously have a lot of touch points with the Luxembourg operations, or the investors effectively, is that it's still a people business. So they like to talk to people, they like to get a good level of service, and I think AI will be a booster. AI will help a lot, but it will not replace that element, which is that LPs and GPs like. It is the interaction with your providers. So as much as I believe in digital business models, and obviously as an entrepreneur, we always try to make our business better with the help of digital capabilities. Attracting and retaining talent will remain one of our key priorities.
Thank you. So now that we have understood a bit more about the market, its scope, let's try to navigate a bit more about this private equity certificate. So Jens, could you let us know, as an adjunct faculty, what is the focus area of this course and how do these align with today's business challenges?
I think it's already more than 8 years ago when I had the idea there must be a course like that in Luxembourg. First, it was just about the private equity environment. And we sat together with industry experts, people from Big Four law firms, but also from the asset managers. A lot of senior people have commented on our first idea, even the former CEO of a big PE house. And although we have developed this a little bit further over the last years, the main content is the result of this discussion. And we wanted to discuss all the different but important aspects of private equity and other alternative asset classes. This is valuation, as Nick said. Nick is presenting valuation since many, many years now, and we are very grateful for that. And we do tax, we do structuring, we do transactions, we do legal, discuss all the asset classes in depth. So we want to provide the big picture, which is necessary in order to succeed. And with HEC Liège, we have then built on this and created this private equity certificate, where the main course is just one part of it, but there's also a course for portfolio management, for risk management, corporate finance, sustainable finance, etc. So we even made it a bit bigger, but more adjusted to the growth of the industry we have seen over the last years.
So would you also like to highlight how is the certificate structured in terms of core and electives, and someone looking to develop a career here in private equity in Luxembourg, how should the person progress?
We have this core, our main course, private markets and other alternative asset classes, which are 12 lessons, each 3 hours. We teach in the evenings, and we even thought that we don't want to do it from a pure academic point of view. We want to do it from a practical point of view. And that's why we have practitioners coming to our course, presenting, who have many, many years of experience and are leaders in their field, like Nick, for example, or partners of law firms, partners of Big Four, or senior people from PE or alternative managers. Last year we had one lecturer from the second biggest alternative manager in the world with us, presenting in particular private debt. And then on top we have the electives, and these electives are, as I have mentioned, the portfolio management, the risk management, corporate finance, sustainable finance, and so on.
So, Nick, would you tell us what's your feeling when you are as a guest speaker, and what's your take from these sessions in the class?
Yeah, for sure. Thank you. So my experience with this course dates back a number of years, definitely pre-COVID. So that was when I had my first session together with Jens on valuation. I was at KPMG back then, so that was my Big Four background prior to starting ACM Private Markets. Yeah, and I think I've actually been a lecturer of that course ever since. Probably interrupted by COVID, but I'm not quite sure if we never did a like a webinar or anything, right?
No. We were, I think, the only course, including all House of Training courses, that was ever taught in person. We had this very, very big room with the tables.
Chambre de commerce,
yeah, 2 meters away from each other. So the course is so lively, and we would lose a lot when we won't do it in person.
That's true. That's true, and that's what I like a lot about the course, that it's actually being facilitated after 6:30 p.m. So you would technically think that the students have a bit of a low energy. At least that was my initial expectation when I came into the room, and I thought, okay, probably I can just tell them anything because they wouldn't necessarily notice. But the opposite is true. So it's always really engaging to see that you come into this classroom, you see all these people that have worked the entire day on either private equity related matters or not at all, because they come from adjacent fields or they want to step into private equity, and they use the course and the modules as a means to understanding private equity. And you start to have discussions. So I usually have my script, I have my slides, I enter into the class and I try to engage with the students, and then often we divert because you see that some of them bring some additional experience, they challenge you. I come with bold statements on the slides and they say, well, this is probably not what I experienced. I see it a bit differently. So you really see that those students try to engage. And I would think it's not just with me in the course of valuation, but also with other courses. So I also test them every now and then to see what have you learned already? Who did you already speak with? What I really like about the course is that Jens and Gunther, they really put together like a roster of speakers that is super high class. So I'm always amazed that they really find the most experienced people in their respective fields teaching them. So when I come in my evaluation, which is probably, I don't know, module number 4 or 5 in the entire course, they already have this foundational level, and it's really fun to work with them. And it's like a 3.5 hour session that I try to do with them, bringing them from I have no idea what evaluation means all the way to, okay, at least now I understand why it's a bit more complex, why it's not automated yet, why our job is probably still safe and AI will not necessarily rationalize us away, hopefully. And yeah, what the typical challenges are, and some of them really take that as a means to, you know, exploring more about that field, maybe, you know, look within their own organizations, how they can add value, really bring it into use. So it's really about the fact that it's a very practical session. And so the way I approach it, I try to bring them some tools, some knowledge, some ideas that they can then put into practice. And that's pretty much how all the speakers and all the lecturers are approaching it. To really not make it a purely academic exercise, but actually help them in their jobs, or when they think about changing jobs, that they really have everything they need to advance in their careers.
Smain, what was your take as a participant and also a current expert in the market?
Yeah, thank you. So, yeah, indeed, I had the chance to attend this course, this main course, plus 2 elective course that I can speak about later. So, maybe just a few words about what is my current role and my organization, so that it gives to the public an idea where I was coming from. So I'm Client Relationship Director at HEC Luxembourg. HEC is a global investor service firm that has a footprint in 26 jurisdictions, and we administer over $700 billion of assets, and we employ more or less 6,000 people across the globe. Out of them, 450 are here in Luxembourg. So when servicing our clients, we differentiate three segments. So the first one is the funds and institutional clients segment. The second one is corporate and capital markets. And the third one is a private and asset owner. So in my role, I manage a portfolio of institutional and corporate clients, and among which large private equity firms, asset managers. So over the years, beside clients, I have the opportunity of working closely with all the professionals present and needed within the industry. It could be lawyers, tax advisors, auditors, bankers, even local authorities. And as I think one of the speaker mentioned it, we've seen also some changes, as before indeed the Luxembourg was offering holding SPVs management, and it has definitely shifted to a place of choice now for alternative investment funds. And we are seeing that the toolbox, the range of possibilities has evolved with the need of the players. So basically, as I approached 45, I began to reflecting on how I could continue basically to grow. And I felt that it was the right time also to consolidate my experience from the ground, because I'm not coming from the private equity pure, let's say, industry. I studied finance at university. We had some courses here and there about M&A, but it was not really focused on private equity or even on alternative investment fund at the time. And so I was looking to basically participate to a training that helped me consolidate my experience, but also having some further knowledge, enter into deeper details, and in particular, interacting with professionals. So to me, the private equity certificate, just as an anecdote, as I was looking for several months of finding something, one day, as IQEQ is part of the LPEA as a member, an email popped up about the private equity certificate, and this I paid attention to it, and I walked through all the emails and the details, and I found it exactly what I was looking for. So two great names. So HEC Liège Luxembourg has a very famous business school. But at the same time, the LPEA, so the professional association here in Luxembourg. So I thought that this is the right combination, because I will get what I'm looking for, but in particular within the context of the Luxembourg place. So this is then the reason why I chose this program. And as I mentioned per the other speakers, I think that arriving at a certain point in a career, we no longer want, to follow some pure academic training. So you need interaction, you need experience, you need to ask questions, tricky questions, be able to exchange about what you are facing in your day-to-day. And this is exactly what this private equity certificates offers to the attendees. So I was really surprised of the quality of the guest speaker. They were not just, as I mentioned, academic. They were seasoned professionals with deep experience in the industry, fund structuring, valuation, deal makings, etc. So really a precious source of knowledge for us as attendees, as students. So we were basically able to access this knowledge and from time to time their own anecdotes. And this is things that are that you cannot find in books, basically. So the program was intense. That's through 12 course of 3 hours, but it's worth it. So with concrete case studies, group work, and real life scenario helped to bridge the gap between the theory and the practice. So making it absolutely not boring. I also appreciated the fact that this was open to a wide public, so there is a diversity in terms of age, where people are in their career, if they were from the financial industry or not. So everyone has the possibility to come with a different background, and this led to broaden the perspective. So sometimes people are asking a question out of the box, and this is really interesting to have other perspectives, to be honest. Then so to combine it with a full-time job that, as you know, in the finance industry is not easy. But the structure of the courses themselves were flexible enough to make it manageable. And this was also a kind of intellectual simulation. So in terms of after, so since I completed the certificate, there has been some changes, of course. So Jens mentioned having the broader view. So indeed, beside the technical topics, I would say that now I feel more comfortable engaging with clients, but also with colleagues from other departments, like our third-party IFM, depository, etc. So sometimes they are using their own jargon that we do not necessarily master. But now I would say that, step by step, I'm having discussions that are deeper, possibility to engage about the fund structuring, also the trend and challenges of the industry, the fundraising, the value creation, the exit strategy, and so it gave me a renewed sense of purpose. And sometimes when you've been in an industry for a long time, you risk become too comfortable. So I think that this program helped me a lot in being sharp and curious, eager to learn on a continuous basis. So as an advice to the future participants, they should, let's say, seriously consider this program, because it offers really a good balance between the academic, but also the practice. So you will have access to an invaluable expertise, and you have the possibility. And for me, the advice is really that the participants have to be open, engaged. There is no stupid question. So do not hesitate to ask as many questions as you need. And the more you invest in the experience, the more you gain from it, for sure.
Thank you so much, Smain. That experience that you shared made me feel that you really missed going back to class, if given a chance.
I think Smain made an important point. I'm often asked, am I too junior for the course, or am I too senior for the course? So we have junior people and senior people like Smain. We had the CEO of a big service provider in Luxembourg, but we also had a client relationship manager coming from the retail sector who never had anything to do with finance or alternatives. And I remember, I think he finished best or second and is now working for an alternative manager. So the entire variety we have seen at our course and is welcome and can do the course. And I've already received one question via Zoom. What is the difference to the CAIA, so the Chartered Alternative Investment Analyst? I haven't done this certification, so I can only mention what I was told. So first of all, I was told that our course has more the practical angle. And of course, we focus on the Luxembourg landscape. We consider what is important to succeed in Luxembourg, whereby CAIA most probably is more on a general level. And furthermore, this is a university certificate. So even on paper, it's a little bit different because HEC will issue this university certificate, one of the most well-known business schools where you can go everywhere and show it. So these are maybe two main differences. I hope this answers this question. But if not, I'm happy to dig deeper here.
Yeah, I think quite a few of you also made a comment saying that a lot of diverse profiles are also entering and succeeding in this space. So Stefan, coming back to you, could you share your thoughts on what kind of backgrounds are breaking through today? And if there are any kind of strategies these professionals could use to switch careers into PE?
Absolutely, Pratiksha. So, I mean, as mentioned before, there are many different entry doors to our industry, which makes it also, therefore, quite interesting. More on the skill side, I would say that what is most important is really to be curious, to have some drive, to be also eager to learn. That's very, very important in our eyes. But also to show some patience. I mean, job hopping will probably be, let's say, not bringing you to the right level that you would expect. But it was also highlighted, this is not just a fairy tale. There is a robust rhythm and also pace within the industry. So that means hard work. If you have an appointment every day at 3:15 at the gym, I would then suggest to potentially look at another industry, honestly. What will be important is therefore to also have analytical skills. It's very important to have those technical angles, to open up for new technologies and new evolutions, as I highlighted before, data, AI experiences. All in all, what will be key is to be multi-specialized and also a multitasker. That's great. On top, I would add some entrepreneurial spirit. Yes, I know it starts to be a big wish list, but in the end, if you have that kind of energy and really appetite and ambition, this is an industry which will welcome you, as Main also said, really with a very hands-on perspective and also expect you to participate and not just do like a robot your tasks. More on the educational kind of programs. Here you have the different angles. Either you do engineering, combine that with finance. You do corporate finance, which is also very helpful for the segments. You can also see more and more some M&A popping up. project management, if you're looking at the operational angle, for example. And then, as highlighted all before, I mean, evaluations, risk management are always helpful. And in our eyes, you know, to have such a holistic program as the one HEC Liège with Jens and Günther has proposed completely fulfills those kind of elements. So to have really enough from each category, and then to be in let's say, the right vocabulary, be able to discuss with other peers and also understand what they are actually doing, not just in your silo or department. And where could you come from then also to join us on this, let's say, adventure? You could come from other GPs, so other investment firms, but you could also come from investment banking. That's also a classical route you can use, strategy consultancy, engineering, as we said, as soon as you also integrate more the business creation and financial skills on top, or from another colleague. Corporate finance, we said. Private banks, also very important if you want to tackle the type of relationship you would have. It's people's business, you all understood. So if you have democratized investors who would like to get access to private equity, which was in the past not really possible, there such skills could be interesting also to work on. You have to also, you have specific industry. If you really come from a hardcore industry, that could also be quite helpful to also participate in the future with an investment firm, because here your skills gains in this sector could also be quite helpful for other investments. You could also come from startups. That's also usually quite good. And then certainly let's not forget all our best-in-class asset services and providers, because here you have usual suspects like Big Fours and law firms who have really provided the industry with great talents, and also other specialized, let's say, players, including banks, PSFs, so the professionals who do fund admin, etc., and accounting, but also nonetheless, let's never forget, like Nick, also very specialized third-party AFMs. So it is certainly feasible to enter the field. I mean, let's not directly dream and hope that you will make it in 5 minutes. It requires more perseverance and energy. But again, reskilling, upskilling is absolutely feasible, specifically if you learned interesting lessons from your past and experiences and also careers. So from that perspective, we remain open. Our suggestion would be after the HEC Liège program, to also stay in close touch with the association, with the professionals, because that's, as you heard, then also one of the elements which differentiates the program so well. It's that you have close contact with the local experts, and also sometimes we create some networking possibilities in the future for you also to get acquainted with such great players. So from our perspective, try your chance and join us.
Nick, would you have anything to add to this?
Yeah, I think what's important for anyone thinking about private equity, it is, at least in my perspective, much less quantitative than you would expect. So if you're like, I'm not good with numbers, I'm not good with math, I'm not good with this, I'm not good with that, that shouldn't deter you from looking into a career in private equity, and that shouldn't deter you for sure in looking into the private equity certificate. But equally, if you're like, okay, I'm a bit more like the spreadsheet guy and I'm not so good at reading contracts, it's still, and that, I think that's the beauty about the industry. It's so wide, it's so broad, it's so diverse, that you will actually find pretty much almost, yeah, I guess, all the profiles in the industry, you know. So I think the worst mistake that you could do is like not apply or not look into it because you think that you don't have like exactly all the skill sets. Because you shouldn't be intimidated, is probably my take here. And it's a relatively young industry, to be fair. I mean, if you look at Luxembourg, if you look at especially the regulated side of the business, AIFMD has been around for 12 years now. So even if you start today and you work in there for 10 years, you have like half the length of the regulation already under your belt. So it's not like others have a big head start and you have like decades to catch up. It's constantly evolving. There's constantly new things popping up. There are new players, new entrants, new job profiles even. That I think it's just it's a very big opportunity to grab.
Jens, would you like to add something?
One idea that came just a few minutes ago when we were talking about career paths and also the difference to other studies is, I think in every course we had in the last 7 years, we had at least one or two persons who not only decided to do the PE certificate, but also said, no, I'm so curious now, and I want to really know more about finance as such. And they have then decided to even do the MBA, and the course and all the courses are part of the MBA. Yeah, and the MBA, this is then the top study one can do when working in the finance industry.
Smain, anything else you would like to add to this?
Yeah, so I fully agree with what has been said. Private equity is definitely an industry that require pluridisciplinary teams. So we are seeing every day that the one that are that succeed in what they do is the one that has the best team that comes with each one come with his assets, and then you have, let's say, the magic that that operates. So no, definitely you can come from a very different background, and you have the possibility to catch the wagon and do a very nice career in finance in general, but in private equity in particular.
Perfect. Thank you so much. I think we're coming close to the end of this webinar, but before that, we will definitely tackle some questions from our audience. So we have one, if one already has an MBA on top of many years of work experience in investment management, do you think this certificate is worth doing?
It depends just if alternatives or private equity has been part of the MBA. So I could then, if not, then I could consider that digging a little bit deeper into alternatives would make sense in my view.
We are still waiting for more questions. If there are any, please write
I think
to us.
There's another one. In my experience, Luxembourg looks for deep specialists more than they do for generalists. Yeah, of course, when you apply for an accounting position, then it is a specialist, right? But I think this industry is so wide and so different, and especially when you want to make a real career in private equity, you have to know a little bit of everything. Yeah. So when you are a director at a PE house and you sit on the boards of the funds, yeah, you have to review the financial statement. So you have to have a little bit of accounting knowledge. When it comes to the investments as such, you have to know something about valuations, yeah. And when you set up a new fund, you have to know a little bit about structuring, about legal aspects. So you see, at the start, maybe it requires a special task, but as you grow, yeah, you have to know a little bit of everything. So and especially this course and the certificate wants to help you with that. Yeah, so we would like to make all the dots and connect all the important matters so that you receive the big picture and enables you at least to know a little bit about everything. But I assume you already have a specialization you can further work on. But I always give this example with the accountant. We can't teach anything material to a PE accountant in our course. But has this PE accountant learned about how is the fundraising going on and all the other important aspects? And we want to provide that.
And I would also really concur to what Jens just explained. So it's really important to also distinguish. I mean, what we said is that it's important to have, let's say, specific and technical skills. But that does not mean that you will do this specific field or segment of the activity your entire life. Meaning, if you want to work for an AFM in risk management, you better do and specialize in risk management. That would be our suggestion, and also sounds quite logical. But afterwards, that does not hinder you to further evolve, to add on top such kind of program certificates, or even then to add on top a complete MBA, which would then further enlarge your scope and also help you also to integrate other skills to the game. Because usually in career paths, you have the two, let's say, versions. Either you start very generalistic and then you become specialized, and then further down, let's say, your career, you reopen, or you start very specialized, but then open up rather quickly. Because in the end, I mean, if you really master your field, because you have everything which is needed, you will at one moment look for a new additional challenge, and then also would like, based on the curiosity I was describing, also like to learn new things and do new things. So again, this is part of the entire kind of openness of the industry. You can start both ways. And again, your career will also depend on how much you would like to push it forward. Because as for every career, you should be aware that you will be the best captain and driver of your own kind of dreams, and you need to make it happen. So therefore, I mean, if sometimes in a specific field you don't particularly like it, there are other options which will pop up. But again, therefore, you should also be a little bit patient and build it up progressively. That's very important.
So thank you so much, Stefan, for that inspirational 2 cents, because it's important that you take the plunge now. And so quick practical information about this program, that the program runs in the evening outside your work hours from 6:30 to 9:30 at Chamber of Commerce, Kirchberg, and mostly on weekdays. So we keep your weekends free, and so we are already accepting applications for the next cohort. So do not think too much. You can already apply on our website. Well, I think it's 6:30 on a Tuesday evening. Thank you everyone for all the time and patience and commitment to this program. Thank you so much for being here.